Well, joining us now is Debbie Jevans, the chair of the All England Lawn Tennis Club. Debbie, welcome to you. Great to have you on the programme.
Good to be here.
There is, I'm sure you'll admit, a huge amount of local opposition to this. Thousands of people have signed a petition against it. Why is this expansion necessary?
It is necessary. I think the first thing I'll say is it is important to get and understand what people say, which is why we've already consulted with over 10,000 people. We've had 1,000 hours of local experts looking at our plans. Primarily, these plans are important because Wimbledon needs to maintain its place at the pinnacle of sport. We're one of the world's greatest sporting events, and we need to maintain that status. The fact is, we're falling behind our fellow Grand Slams. They're all 3-week events now. They all have their qualifying on-site at a permanent facility. We're in a temporary facility that is also its leasehold. Aligned to that, though, if I may, what is really important to me and us as a championships and a club is that this allows us to increase the available green space to the local community by 50% from a private golf course. We shouldn't forget that this was a private golf course for over 100 years, and we want to open that up and all the environmental benefits that we'll bring.
OK, well, Paul, this is on your patch. The Mayor has given approval to this. Why are you against it?
We are hugely proud. All my constituents are hugely proud that Wimbledon is the heart of tennis. We love the tennis. We go there regularly. We're also proud of our green spaces. And when the All England Club bought the Wimbledon Park in 1993, they gave a solemn undertaking, a legal undertaking, they wouldn't build upon it. What we want to do now, Debbie will tell me times have changed, but we need to reach some sort of compromise. And I've asked Debbie, I met with Debbie last week, I said, let's reach a compromise, let's talk. And what I asked her then, I'll ask her again now, please meet the Save Wimbledon Park group to talk about compromise, and that will move us forward.
Yeah, I mean, may I respond? I'm very, very happy to engage. And you're right, we did last week. I've met with other members of Parliament and the local community, and always very, very happy to meet. I think the thing about the covenant that you refer to, a covenant is primarily for the public benefit. And when we looked at what we are doing and the necessity of doing it, that Wimbledon maintains its position at the pinnacle of sport, this is a world-leading event, good for tennis, good for London, good for the country. We also want to ensure that we deliver public benefit, hence the reason why we're increasing the green space by 50%, which we will do. I'm very, very happy to sit down and meet with anybody. We met last week, but fundamentally these plans have been thought through, 1,000 hours of interrogation by National England, Historic England, the London Wildlife Trust, the Gardeners Trust, all of which support these plans, as well as the GLA that has given planning permission.
So you said that you've consulted with 10,000 people, mainly concerned around biodiversity issues, environmental issues, the huge numbers who will come in. Are you prepared to compromise, which is what Paul is asking for?
I'm very prepared to sit down and explain some facts.
So that's a no to compromising?
No. What I'm trying to say is I'm not saying yes or no. I'm saying what I want to do is explain the reality. There are a huge amount of lies out there. Lies such as the fact we are concreting over the park. It's an industrial size development. Biodiversity is ruined. These are all untruths, I'm afraid. One thing we do want to do is to desalt the lake. That in itself is good for biodiversity because it's full of all the pesticides from the golf course. So I'm very happy to sit down, and I'm hugely excited about the opportunity for the public and for the tennis tournament.
Paul?
I'm not wholly comforted in your answer about just explaining to us. You do need to reach a compromise. We're talking about a 10-story...
What compromise would you like?
Well, it's not for me to determine that. The Save Wimbledon Park
what about
group
your
are the spokespeople. Well, this is why I want Debbie to meet the Save Wimbledon Park group. Are you saying you will meet them?
I'm happy to meet with them.
OK, that's brilliant. That's a move forward. We're talking about a 10-storey stadium. We're talking about 38 tennis courts. We're talking about 10 further outbuildings. The idea that this is just adding to biodiversity is clearly not true. And even desilting the lake is a real issue, because what you will do is bring the pollutants back out into the water.
Debbie says that this will maintain the All England Club Wimbledon as, you know, the premier tennis tournament in the world. Clive, what's your view on this?
Well, it's always sensitive when anyone wants to develop on open space, particularly if it's metropolitan open land. It's particularly sensitive. But I mean, this is Wimbledon. It is the premier tennis club in the world, the premier tennis tournament. And you know,
so do you agree with this expansion?
I think I would hope that the word compromise would come to the fore, and that both sides could sit down and come to some sort of agreement, because I mean, clearly, we don't want to undermine the ability of Wimbledon to maintain its status in its sport, but at the same time, the local people have got to have a say in what goes on.
We have tried many times to get you to come and talk to them, and
Well,
time
Debbie said
again
she
you've
will.
refused. I know, that's
Debbie
great.
said she will. Okay.
I mean, I don't want to, but if I may.
I just want to ask you actually about the economic benefits, because the projections are that it will bring £300 million. Is that a year? Who is that to?
Yes.
How will it benefit local people?
It will benefit local people and also benefit the country by the number of people that are watching. The event will increase. There will be that extra week of footfall for the local community. There'll be the construction jobs that will be there as we develop the site, and then there'll be permanent jobs and temporary jobs throughout the championships in the extra week. So there will be extra benefit, and that's also to the local community, but maintaining Wimbledon at the pinnacle of sport is vitally important. It is a global event. It puts London on the map, it puts Wimbledon on the map. We cannot fall behind our fellow Grand Slams.
Well, we've got this judicial review coming up in a couple of months, so we'll hear more about it then, I'm sure, and we'll look forward to hearing more about this potential compromise and meeting. Debbie, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank
we
you
really
for
appreciate
inviting
your
me.
time.
Thank you.